Hello everyone and welcome to Session Heroes episode 3. Today we're looking at the incredible Dann Huff. Born in 1960, Dann Huff is a multi-award-winning producer and musician who has enjoyed success as a session musician, artist and record producer since beginning his career in Nashville at age 16. In the early 80s, despite being based in Nashville, which has always been a centre of industry, to Dan, LA was a mecca of his favourite studio musicians. For a while, Dan would catch a flight out to LA, book a hotel, have all his gear shipped over and play each session at a loss of between $500 and $1,000 each time. However, this served as a way for him to get his foot in the door. It wasn't long before David Hungate of Toto told Dan to make the move out to LA. Within 6 months, he was booked every day of the week. Dan was playing alongside musicians such as Mike Landau, Jeff Porcaro and Paul Jackson Jr., cutting tracks for Madonna, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Scritti Politti, Chaka Khan and countless others. Okay, let's talk about gear. So starting with amplifiers, we know that Dan loved the Peavey Classic 50. He talks about this in his instructional video and seemed to favour it as a filler amplifier. So by that I mean he would lay down a main guitar take with one sound and then use the Peavey Classic 50 to do the overdub or the double of that part to kind of thicken everything out. We also know that he had a Mesa Boogie Mark II head and some Mesa Boogie studio preamps in his rack, powered by both a Boogie preamp and you can see photos of a VHT 2150 power amp as well. Dan also had a Soldano modded Marshall head, and now I don't know how much he used these, but you can see in the background of that video that there are also a bunch of 5150s and what look like old Fender Bassman heads as well. Moving on to guitars. So Dan seemed to really favour a lot of James Tyler guitars and also Tom Anderson. He had a Ultimate Weapon by James Tyler, which is the red guitar in the instructional video. He had a three-tone Sunburst Strat. He had another Tyler Strat which had a classic Strat-shaped headstock on it. I believe he had Tom Anderson Telly and a Tom Anderson Super Strat style guitar, also a Schecter Super Strat style guitar, and then a bunch of other stuff which I assume are kind of more like session tools, so like a Les Paul, a 335, a Gretsch Nashville. But if you look at most live footage of Dan, he's either using Tyler's, or he's probably the guitar most widely associated with Dan, his 63 Strat, which he'd sort of ripped all the guts out of and put a humbucker in and put a Floyd Rose on it, which is amazing. And obviously further on down the line as well, he actually had a Dan Huff signature guitar from James Tyler, which is the black one that has the mid boost built into it. There's some push switches on the scratch plate. As for effects, really it's all the usual suspects for 80s session guitar players. So we know that the tri-stereo chorus was a big part of Dan's sound, just like with Landau. Looking at pictures of his rack, it also looks like he was using DBX compressors, Lexicon PCM 60 and 70 reverbs, the TC Electronic 2290 delay, the Yamaha SBX 90, what else? Oh, the Eventide H3000 harmonizer rack unit as well. So stuff that you'll see kind of like across the board with a lot of these players. Dan also had what he called his junker pedals, I think, which are basically just like cheap stomp boxes which he would use on sessions.
Dan was doing so many sessions with Alan Pasqua that eventually he started collaborating with other studio musicians and writing original music. After a couple of lineup changes, Dan brought in his brother David, who had also played in Dan's first band Whiteheart, and the original lineup of Giant was formed alongside Mike Brigadello and Alan Pasqua. Giant were immediately signed and released two great albums, Last of the Runaway and Time to Burn.
Okay, I'm going to run through this section as concisely as possible, so I'm just really quickly going to tell you what I've been using for the sound examples in this episode. You can see I've got my PRS Dave Grissom guitar going into my Suhr Badger 30 amp, which is set completely clean. Now for the really clean sounds, I've just been using the Ego Comp by Wampler, which I've set to try and emulate a DBX. So the blend and the sustain knob are both 3/4 of the way up. The tone is set to bright and the attack is set to fast. So on its own, that sounds like this. Okay. What I added to that was my new pedal, which is the Lil Wave from Shiva Audio Devices. This is like a tri-stereo chorus in a box kind of pedal. They have their flagship model, the Wave, which is a part-for-part recreation of the tri-stereo chorus, and this is kind of their small format pedal version of that. So it's got two modes, classic and the tri-chorus mode. So the classic mode, both sides on, sounds like this. And then the tri-chorus mode. Okay, sounds really cool. For the Michael Jackson song, the only difference was I was adding some reverb and some delay from the Strymon Flint and the Strymon Dig, which sounds like this. Now for everything overdrive, I've just been using one pedal, which is the Animal OD from J-Rock Audio Designs, or Rocket Pedals. Now the setting has been pretty much the same throughout. It is volume at 2 o'clock, bass pretty much off, treble between 12 o'clock and 2 o'clock depending on the track, and gain between 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock depending on the track. So at 2 o'clock it sounds like this. I'll turn the chorus off for a second. And then with the chorus pedal on, I'll place this in an inopportune place. Sounds great, instantly gets you a lot closer. For solos and stuff, all I've been doing is kicking the gain up. So the gain goes to about 2 o'clock, and then sometimes using both sides of the tri-chorus pedal, sometimes just one. So with just one, with both. Okay, that's pretty much it. Definitely the two pedals which were kind of most useful in this video was the Shiva Lil Wave, which I really like, really impressed with it, and the Animal OD, which has been like a long stay favourite of mine for years now. Now, the sounds that I got on the tracks were not perfect. I could have got them closer if I'd had a bit more time, but I've been kind of snatching time here and there on account to do this video. But what I'd kind of advise is just really use your ears, try and hear the sound as it is, as it is isolated, not how it sounds in the mix of the complete track. So sometimes there might not be as much bass in there as you think and stuff like that. And the other thing I'd say is just have a look at the components that Dan is using. You don't have to get the exact units to get close. You can just see, you know, what's in the recipe, if you like, and then get as close as you can with what you've got at home. So before we conclude today's episode, as always, I'd like to give you guys some recommended listening to go and check out. So from this episode, we've seen that Dan played on some of the biggest records of the 80s. Madonna, Michael Jackson, Shaka Khan, Whitney Houston. The list is astonishing. However, for me, on these records, Dan, a lot of the time, is one of several great session guys on there. Steve Lukather, Paul Jackson Jr., Michael Landau also featured heavily on a lot of those records, which is a great reason to check them out. But if you're looking for stuff which is specifically more of Dan's playing, I'd really recommend going to check out Amy Grant's records. Heart in Motion, Lead Me On, Unguarded, all featured Dan heavily, and he's playing on there, it's just wicked. It's some of my favourite from him. Also Michael W. Smith featured Dan a lot on his early records, so The Big Picture and Change the World are two great records that again feature Dan pretty extensively. Aside from that, you have to go and check out Giant, particularly the first two records, Last of the Runaways and Time to Burn. It's a different sort of thing. It's Dan kind of letting loose. It's not, you know, it's quite different from the session thing, obviously, but he's playing on there, it's just blazing. Amazing. So definitely go and check those out. Okay guys, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I certainly have. It's been really challenging but a lot of fun to sort of try and keep up with Dan. I think that's all you can hope really, is sort of try and keep up. There'll probably be one more episode on Dan, starting from the point that he moved back to Nashville and started getting into some modern country records and eventually started producing. So there'll probably be one more on Dan and one more on Michael Landau. I may do those next, or I may look at someone else, we'll see. If you've enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, leave a comment of some of your favourite session heroes and what you'd like to see coming up in the future. Thanks guys, see you soon.